Howdy, Possum Patty here, and it's Flip Through Friday. And which journal am I going to pick today? So today's Flip Through is going to be my Gnome Journal, and this has been requested. So to start with, this was a book that I took the pages out of, and then I made two very large signatures, sewed them in a standard way, and then I covered the spine with this material that I thought kind of looked old-fashioned brown to go along with the theme. This is a picture from the gnome book that I had, and I put that on the cover with some matte medium, and I added this little female gnome here and put the words forest gnome, because this is a beautiful owl in the forest. On the back cover, I put a male gnome looking into the forest. And again, this is put on with matte medium, and these pictures are ripped out of the gnome book. And I did drip some brown ink on here a little bit, kind of make it look a little older than what it is. And on this one, I kind of roughed it up a little bit. Dripped some ink down here. You can see a big drip there, just to kind of distress it a little bit. And I sewed the signatures in, and then I journaled in it, so it got too chunky. So this is a definite alligator mouth. The inside is more pictures from the gnome book, and I layered two pictures, one on top of the other. So here we have a bush with a bird, and on top of that I put this little gnome with this sort of reddish color field, and he's looking into the shrubbery here, and I just thought these two reds went together really nicely. On the inside, you can see I used some more vintage material to cover up the spine. It's not the same material, but kind of goes with it. The colors, browns and oranges, go with it. The first page is like introducing you to the book, so he's bowing, introducing himself to the little birds. Again, more pictures from the gnome book. Every page in this journal is a piece of cardstock that I hand ripped along the edge to make a decal edge, and hand painted, watercolored, splattered, everything to make the painty papers. So these are just plain, cardstock pages. Every page is the same. Some of them are covered up, but underneath that's what they are. The first one is a full pocket, and inside is a memory from 40 years ago of me and my son at the beach. This is down in Florida, and these are on an old envelope. I think I just used the envelope for a backing. And in the pocket that's here, I like to cut pockets with a not straight edge, is a piece of cardstock. Again, images from the gnome book, the word gnomes. And on this side, just some journaling. My sister saw Robin. This is some daily journaling from January 23rd. And she sent me the picture. I printed it out with my Canon IV printer. The little mushroom and the little moth were already on there. And I put this picture here because of all the birds on this page. I thought that would be something fun to put on this page. And this has been sewn around to make this pocket. Inside is a, so here's that cardstock, but I added on this magazine page to make that pocket. some stickers from the Dollar Tree, the word sky from a magazine probably. And on this side I have a nature book page about the cloud formations. And some little bunnies in a storm here because we got some storm clouds going there. And part of a postcard. Actually, I think this is artwork. I think the artist's name is under there. A Dollar Tree sticker of a suitcase that I cut. And a Dollar Tree flamingo. And on the inside, oh, this is from November when my son and daughter-in-law were in Florida, and they sent me this picture of this pink sunset. Yeah, pink sunset, and that's why I thought it went really nicely with this page. I think this is from a nature book, not a magazine. Let me look on the inside. Yeah, this is from a nature book of the beach. So I thought the pink sunset did pink and purple frames go with the pink and purple sky, and they flew to Florida, so I got my pink and purple airplane up there. Some more of that envelope that I used for this background over here. Pink and purple again. Love how all these colors go together. And then that suitcase is supposed to be holding that card down. And this is also a pocket, and in this pocket is a page that explains about the clouds, the types of clouds and the stratus clouds, and more names for the different clouds. So this is like a nature journaling page you can keep for reference. Goes with the pocket. And then on the other side is a picture that I took of some clouds. And this is a true color of these clouds. It was at sunset. This is a farm in Pennsylvania. And the background is some raindrop scrapbook paper. But this was just like an awesome sunset because I know it's facing west on the farm. So I just thought all these clouds and information about clouds all went together. And they were from a nature book. On this side, we have some journaling about a tornado, and it looks like there's 4 tornadoes in Connecticut, several out here on Long Island, one up here in New York. November 13th, I got 4, and I got a picture of a tornado. And then I have those bunnies again in a storm. And there's a little gnome down here, and he's waving, and the waves are getting high and splashing. So moving on from stormy weather, I have this very bright, colorful page. And this was a napkin that was gifted to me. And this, with these birds on it and these bright colors, reminds me of like a Pennsylvania Dutch style painting. And so on this side, I have a picture of my mom from many, many, many years ago, standing in front of the fireplace at my grandmother's kitchen. And my grandmother was in the process of painting a harvest scene. So it's hard to see, but there's the back of the house, and there's the wagon with the horses hitched to it, and then there's a bunch of vegetables there. And she's painting disselfinks, birds, Pennsylvania Dutch style, flowers around on both sides of the fireplace there. And I made a pocket using that same napkin. A little sparkle Mod Podge on there, and again we have this painty paper. This one was green. I put a little thin yellow ribbon and a button there, and a matching yellow ribbon on the tag. And again, I did not cut the pocket straight across. I followed the design that was on the napkin. On this side, I used a page from the Gnome book to make a big pocket. I love all these flowers down here, and I continued some across the other side. I put a thumb hole there, and inside is a journaling card. On this side was the day that Michael Leah Day died, and that was Meatloaf. And I put a picture of Meatloaf that I had made on January 20th here. Oh, I was making a sandwich from leftover meatloaf when I heard the news that Meatloaf had passed away. I put a little bat here because here he is with his bat poster there. Bat out of hell. And this side is just some information about different plants and medicinal purposes. I love the shepherd's purse here. And that was going in the pocket. So there's a ribbon here. And this illness and remedies refers back to these plants because it tells you which plants the gnomes use for which complaints. So that goes in there. On this side we have another pocket. Again, it's not cut straight across. I follow the line of the picture. You can see the painty paper there, splattered and painted, and some nice sunflower ribbon and a sunflower sticker from the Dollar Tree. And my journaling card was my son and daughter-in-law at a sunflower farm, and I put some sticker bees there, a little yellow ribbon with some bling bling. And this side is a sticker from the Dollar Tree. This, I think, was gifted to me by Wanda at A Day in My World, I believe. This one. So that one is about sunflowers on that page. And this page is a very big journaling card. Okay, so this page has a napkin with sparkle Mod Podge, and this looks like extreme glitter Mod Podge. There's a lot of sparkle on that. And I punched these flowers out from different papers and put a little half round there and a butterfly sticker. And oh, this was a swap and glue from BB's Closet Creations, I think. This paper and this butterfly, and probably that napkin, and probably this doily. I put half rounds on there. And then I had this Easter card hanging around, an old Easter card where it says, "Family is a blessing, a joy, a gift." And it's very sparkly. Goes nicely with this napkin with the Mod Podge on it that glitters. And on the other side I have an old family photo with Mom in the middle. She's now 93. And there I am and my older brother, my younger sister, and my younger sister, and my youngest sister, and my other brother. And this is at an old house that we used to have on Elm Street in New Haven. And that's the fam right there. Put some more of those flowers that I made. And it's just a very sparkly family page. Get it back in the pocket there. On this side, I have a cute little page from the gnome book with the gnome children and the little mouse in their house. And it is a pocket. And I use this paper. This is actually wallpaper that reminded me of this checkered red and white cloth that the children had. I put that in the background. Again, you can see some of the painty paper there. And this was a holiday card sent from my grandniece and grandnephew. And on the back, I used some more of that red and white check paper and a picture from the gnome book where they're reading to the two little gnome children, little girl, little boy. Just like a little girl and little boy right there. And it's a big pocket for a big card. Put that in there. We have another pocket on this page, and this one's made from the gnome book. Little bird there and a log with some berries, and I put a picture of a Papa Gnome there leaning on a fence that he's working on, and I put caution, gnome at work, and a bling bling, and this is some winter paper here. Blue, I was going blue on this page. And this was a holiday card from Mr. Possum's Kids. And on the back, I put this paper with these red lines on it. It's perfect for journaling on it. And some pictures I printed out of Mr. Possum working on the fireplace. And I guess this is when he was all done and everything was put back together. Oh, you can see the rug and everything is up. And he was cleaning the floor and cleaning out the fireplace. And then here he put everything back, and so now everything is nice and neat and clean. And then he bought a new rug to put in front of the fireplace, but it's not in the picture. So this was on January 13th, and that's why I put Gnome at work. And Mr. Possum was hard at work that day. On this side was a fun picture. It's hard to see here, but way back in there, it looks like Bigfoot walking through the woods. And that's Mr. Possum when he went to get the mail. And I said, Bigfoot in the woods, question mark. And down here at the bottom is the Valentine Day Bouquet I made with flowers from the Dollar Tree. Took a picture of it. And I love the fold out on this page. Isn't that pretty? I took a piece from the Gnome book and I sewed a triangle, like from this corner to the middle, this corner to the middle, and divided that in half. And then on each side of that, I cut a piece of paper to fit in with the point and did journaling on the back. Tom walking up the lane to get the mail looked like Bigfoot in the little video I took. And then this one talks about the Valentine Day Bouquet I made with the Dollar Tree flowers. And these little cards were made from the rest of this page. And that just folds in like that. I have a gnome here with the berries that matches this bird and berries on this side. And I have a little altered paper clip with some more of those berries that match that, match that. Little blue button to match the little blue berries. On this side, this was a magazine that Dolores J. Rush, sent me from Missouri, or Missouri. And I just love this picture of these trees. Kind of a swampy feel, reminds me of my property. Random act of kindness from Dolores, because she sent me a whole bunch of wonderful things. And I made a journaling card. And in the journaling card, I tried to sort of match the style of this painting that's in the magazine. I tried this with my acrylic paints. It came out okay. I like it. A little bit lighter and brighter than this, but that's okay. And on this side, this must be, I wonder if this is something Dolores sent, because, you know, my memory is, she's a broke. But there's plenty of videos to go back and watch on how I made every single page. And there's a little gnome down there, and a bigger gnome there. So this was all probably stuff, except for that painting there, that she sent. Because I think I did some swap and glues in this journal. And this is a tag from a scrapbooking set. I put this paper that looked like sweaters, cozy blankets, it says there, cool days, warm nights, and my nieces, my two nieces and their two daughters right there. And I just love these autumn colors. I did this in yellow to match her yellow sweater. And put this autumn leaves and pumpkins please, because she's playing in the leaves. And they used this photo that we took at, I think this was at Thanksgiving, they used that for their holiday card. I added this little bit of twine going across there and on the tag on this side. This tag doesn't come off, it's just for decoration there. But I love these colors, I love these fun pages. And then coming off the twine, I put an owl there with sort of a yellowish owl charm. Yellowish green maybe. Go with that page. And this was on Thanksgiving, and I gave Mama a turkey feather. And I said, okay, now you have to hold the turkey feather and tell me what you're thankful for on this Thanksgiving Day. And she said, my family. And here's the feather right here. I put it in the book. And this is probably another page from that Missouri magazine that Dolores sent. And I put a picture of a turkey from a scrapbooking set there. And this is just in a piece of cellophane. And I think that's all that's on this page. And then on this page, November 18th, we went to museum, the American Heritage Museum, which was very cool. Roar into history. The backgrounds on these 2 pages are from a book that's like 100 years old called Chums. It's all stories for boys and men, young men. And this one was about airplane pilot, ace pilot, I guess they call it. And this is a picture of a tank. Something you can do at this museum is drive a real tank. Now, it costs a lot of money, so we didn't do that. You'd have to save up for that, but I thought that was really cool. And I bought this die set. I think I got this at the Hobby Lobby on sale. I don't know, I'd have to go back and watch all my videos to remember everything I did, right? But it's a slider. It cuts this hole and it gives you these little plastic rings and you can make interactive pages. This is a sticker from the museum. Oh, they was going to buy this sticker and the man said, he says, oh, you know what, we give these away to children when they come to the museum. I said, well, I'm a retired teacher, so he gave it to me because he says they just give it to school groups. And so I didn't have to pay for it. He just gave it to me. And I said, that was nice. And this is a brochure that I cut up. But in here there are pictures. Like there's Mr. Possum there. And that's a picture of a tank I took. And this is just from the brochure. And there's Mr. Possum there. And this is a piece of World Trade Center after the attack. And there's me in front of a tank. So this goes all the way, I think it was World War I. Yeah, when you go in, you go into this trench. And you're down in the trenches and World War I starts exploding all around you. And it's told by a nurse. And there's the ambulance, and she tells about the experience. I think it's from an actual letter written by a nurse from the front in World War I. And they have more tanks and equipment here, I guess, than anywhere. This is in Massachusetts. This is in Massachusetts. It's very interesting, very interesting. Next page, I had gotten a gnome scarf from the Dollar Tree. I made a fabric flip. And you notice she's got this check here, and so I found this red and gray plaid background here. And I did some memory pages. This is a old one of my brother, probably around 1977. There's my old blue, baby blue, robin's egg blue Volkswagen there. And picture of my sister and another niece. And this is a memory page here. When I was teaching 3rd grade, I brought a, can you see that like that? Lots of glare. There we go. I brought a turkey to my classroom, and the children made a Thanksgiving meal. And instead of having turkey, we had a real live turkey as the guest. So the turkey was the guest. And this is a holiday card that was made by Sharon at Connections of Lives and Interests. And she made this to me for Thanksgiving. Isn't that wonderful? I love the way she collaged the front of this card. Beautiful with stamps and images of flowers and leaves. Thanksgiving 1996. Mayflower the turkey is a guest in room 6. I put an image of an old truck there. It was funny because I had an old truck just like this, and I took the truck to the turkey farm. I said, hey, can I borrow a turkey for a day? And they're like, yeah, sure. They threw it in a crate, threw it in the back of my truck, and I took it to school. First snow is on November 27th, and there is a real leaf that is decoupaged in there, and then some texture paint and some sparkle Mod Podge to do a little bit journaling about the first snow. On this side, I got a couple of cards here. And I think that one's attached. this ribbon, and this is a button I made out of corrugated cardboard. I made rusty buttons. It was a lot of fun making your own buttons. And behind that I have some stenciled paper with some leaves. Looks like I went around with a pen and did some splattering and some coloring on that page. And therefore I have a leaf, and I put a little snow on this leaf to match this page. And this is all colored in. And some journaling on this side about the first snow, crunchy coating of white. And then I have a card, and there's a little gnome on this side. And frosty dawn there. And I wrote first snow in the snow, and a picture of the woods with the snow. And I stuck with the orange colors to match. Because it was still fall, so you want to get your fall colors in there. I love this paper. I think that's Michael's. Oh, and this was sent to me by Dolores, I believe. Yes, this was the Amazon catalog. And I got these wooden cutouts from the Dollar Tree, and I painted a little fox, and I put little fur on him to match the little fox here. And I made a little altered paper clip with the little raccoon on that side, a little beaver on that side, and just a little enamel charm, orange, because we're still going with orange here. Put a little mushroom sticker there. Otter's Winter Wander. Here's the otter. That Amazon catalog was so pretty, and I didn't get one, but Dolores did, and she sent it to me because she's such a sweetheart. There's more critters and a little squirrel up there. That's a chipmunk. And I think this is the otter here, and some mushrooms. These are all pictures from that catalog. I did ink around these, and inside I put a world of adventures. I think this postcard was from that catalog too, and I had a little fake stamp. I put that there. Now this picture was taken in the Catskill Mountains in New York in 1963, and my father, and there's me, and my brother, and my sister, and my stepmother, Shirley. Is that Shirley? Yeah, I think that's Shirley. I had a few stepmothers, but I think that one is Shirley. And then the paper clip is a blind paper clip. In other words, you have a picture on both sides. You can't see the paper clip at all, but it does open up like that. And that holds that little, oops, holds that page down like that. And these critters are from paper sent to me by Heather C. And I used some paper in the background, and I put a little quirky bird up there. And this is the note from Heather C. She now has her own channel, so I can link that below. And this is correspondence from Heather. Put in there. I love this card. It's so pretty. And this is us gathered at Thanksgiving. Most of the whole fam there. Mom is in the middle, right there. And all her children and her children's children. And her children's children's children. So her children, her grands, and her great-grands. That's us on the back deck. Right there. Put this nice turkey here from the paper pack. And, well, this is more pictures from Thanksgiving. That's the first generation, and the second generation, and the third generation. Well, actually, she's the first, so we're the second, and those are the thirds, and those are the fourths. And then there's the kids playing in the leaves. I got really pretty paper from a fall pack at Michael's. And some more notes about Thanksgiving. And then my son and daughter-in-law stayed over at my house, and we had a game of Scrabble. Put some fall leaves and half rounds and some of that really pretty paper. And this is a Christmas Eve snow. there. Sorry, I keep bumping the stand, but I can't get the book under the camera stand. On December 23rd, I put the pumpkins out to pasture before it snowed. So those were my Thanksgiving and Halloween pumpkin decorations. And this is just information from another nature book about the red maple. We have a lot of red maples around here. Put a little gnome on there. And I didn't want to leave them on the porch because, you know, when they freeze and thaw, they tend to go mushy. And I put them out in the field there so that, actually, I think the deer ate them. Something ate them. I have this really pretty ribbon. I made a little flap, and under the flap is a little gnome. I put a little piece of the ribbon on here, a little gnome on there. This paper is from the gnome book with some snow. I have another flap on this page. Picture of 3 gnomes under there. This was on New Year's. 21 is done. Welcome in the new 22. But this is an older picture. This is a picture of us New Year's Eve 2013 when my cousin's son got married. And they got married New Year's Eve at a aquarium. It was awesome. Best wedding reception ever with the sharks and stingrays. It was really interesting. Got some gnomes playing in the snow down here. Another really nice picture of the reindeer and the little gnome in the snow. Inside is a journaling card. January 5th, chocolate cream pie. And there's my recipe. And there's me licking the spoon. And I used non-dairy milk and non-dairy whipped cream and a gluten-free crust. So I kept the recipe because that's the first time I ever made a gluten-free non-dairy chocolate cream pie. It came out really well. Picture of the snow on the back. Big branch with some snow on it. That was January 5th. On this page, I have a nice wide belly band with that ribbon with the deer. Nice red background. 2 journaling cards. This one looks like a bookmark, doesn't it? I braided some of this. This is that craft thread that looks like embroidery floss. And I put a picture here. And this is me in my gnome coat going out to feed the birds in the snow. This was on January 8th. And there's a little gnome there. It says, for dairy dodging Christmas chalky chompers. Oh, this was a piece of chocolate that my sister gave me. That's dairy free, but they put moo free white snowman. I love the colors. It reminded me of the Amazon catalog. And this one has official snow total for Scotland, which is the town over there. 14.8 inches. And this is before the snow stopped. I was up to 13.5 already. But my guess for January 7th was about 15 inches. I followed deer tracks around the yard. And I call this a marshmallow world when everything is coated in the snow. And I put a little gnome down there. There's gnome skiing on that side in the snow. That's from my gnome book. Just a big book about gnomes. It's called Gnomes. Another gnome picture and some kitchen trash. King Arthur Baking Company from the box of gluten-free chocolate cake mix. And this was my stepdaughter's party. And I used a lot of sparkly, and I think these dies are also from Dolores. A little gnome there, and I put the little balloons coming out of his little backpack basket. And she's blowing out her cake that I made, and I put a little party hat sticker on her, little present sticker, just some journaling, little gnome. He's running for cover because it's starting to rain there. Here's another belly band. I put a Siberian gnome on some ribbon. Oak leaf. Siberian gnome. This is Mr. Possum. Winter activities. Shovel, snow, game, nap. And there he is gaming. Some information about a caribou. Oops. And there he is napping. Information about the white oak. And this is a picture of my son gaming, but this is many years ago. Look at the game. So primitive compared to what they have now, right? They're so lifelike now. So we got Christmas activities, winter activities, gaming, napping, and snow. And this all goes in this belly band here. Stuck to reds and browns on this page. And here's a memory page. Oop. Keep reflecting on there, then you can't see it. That's my old truck. We called it Cream Puff. I put a Christmas sticker there. She's in the snow. Got a gnome here, just decorating the page. Got a little tuck spot made out of a flannel ribbon. A little gnome feeding the woodland creatures in the winter time. Some journaling cards, Deer Mouse. That gnome is feeding. The gnome feels the responsibility to supply small rodents with food from his storage during long, severe winters. And I started taking pictures of Christmas ornaments. We took the Christmas tree down today, and this was an ornament, glass ornament of a biker mama and a motorcycle. We used to have a motorcycle. And this was a Christmas card that was sent to us of Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus on the motorcycle. I love it. Punch it, fat boy. And here's a picture of me and Mr. Possum many years ago with our Harley Davidson. And this picture is in Lancaster County, PA. So this one is all about Harleys and Christmas trees and deer mice in the snow. What a combination, right? And the theme on this page was sort of gray and red. And on this side we have a Mama Gnome up here looking down. Papa Gnome ice skating, one of my cardboard rustic buttons, but when you open this you can see the little baby gnome here, and she's looking down at the little baby gnome. This side has a belly band with an owl and some journaling. January 11th. First fire in the fireplace in 2 years. Cozy warm. And that was in this little band here. And this is Christmas about 1957 at my grandma's. And she used to put our presents in the fireplace. Kind of like Santa was too lazy to come down the fireplace, so he just dumped them down the chimney. And the little rusty button holds that closed. On this side, I have another belly band. I guess I was in the belly bands doing this book. Some really pretty. I love these colors. The sun coming through the woods. I got a little sparkle ribbon on there. This beautiful owl from the gnome book. And on this side, I made a little corner tuck, and I have a gnome inside a snowball there. And is a picture of the thermometer one day when it was 3 degrees outside. And underneath that is a picture of me in the snow back in 1972. 1972, got my ice skates there. This was at the Ice House Pond. January, woke up on the 16th to 3 degrees Fahrenheit. Night hunting owl, that's a picture on the other side. This goes up in the little snow tuck there. I used a ribbon that looked like birch bark on this side. Make a little tuck. Beautiful background from the gnome book. This is a vintage New Year's greeting card from around 1900. And this is a picture of a journal cover that I made for a journal cover swap challenge. Beautiful snowy owl. And this was hosted by Rosie and Wanda. And my partner was Jeannie at Happily Ella After, and she got that, and I got one from her. This is a replica of a vintage Christmas card. I love the blues on this. And this is another pie, my first gluten-free lemon meringue pie. The little gnome down here busy at work, put a little pine cone up there. And this was an ATC swap. We had to use the ATCs as inspiration for making our journal covers. That was a fun collab. Goes in that little tuck spot. And on the back, I have the little gnome waving goodbye. And this is one very large pocket. And I said, goodbye 21. I gave myself permission to start as many new journals as I wanted to this year. I made and completed a boho cosmic smash book, an altered composition book, a summer journal, and a gingerbread home December daily. I also finished last year's Thanksgiving journal, and I started a few, a Halloween, a trashy, and a Christmas in July. Also got out the Colors of Winter and Asian glue book to play in. And this is a reproduction from vintage New Year's card. And here's a picture of my journals for 2021. I took a picture of the shelf. And journaling about journals. Journaling about my journals. And here is the gnome. I took two pictures. I put the deer on first, and then I put this picture of the gnome pointing in a direction like he's telling the deer which way to go. And that is the end. I love my gnome book. It holds lots of memories, and I was really good at doing some daily journaling in here too. So I am very pleased with this journal. Memory keeping. Got some happy mail, some glue booking in there. Whoops. And I use these headbands to keep it closed. Not that it doesn't actually close, does it? So thank you for coming along for this very chatty explanation of all the pages in my gnome junk journal. There is a video on every single page here, so I can link that playlist below. And I want to thank you for coming along today. Happy junk journaling. Bye-bye.